We're going to go to Nirvana next. Is that correct? Oh, and we barely. Someone failed their intelligence save, I remember, and luckily we transported back to the material plane instead of some odd off the wall plane.
Like
Yeah.
internal screams.
Yeah, someone certainly did fail it.
Yep. What can I say? She's flexible, not, that smart.
Sounds really dirty.
Yeah. That wasn't my intention. I'm not awake.
That's fair. It's very early where you are.
It's only 7:15 or so in the morning. I'm just used to sleeping through this time period now.
That's fair. I'm glad you can still be with us.
Oh yeah, me too.
Um,
Not willing to sacrifice this.
yeah, I have been very clear to people that I am not available during this time, and you guys can figure it out on your own for a fucking couple hours.
Yeah.
So we came back to Mech. We went back to the base. Are we going to Nirvana still? Is that still the plan? Or do you guys have something else in mind?
I think we're still going to Nirvana. Last I knew, we were just kind of waiting. We had a few days of time to kill before we needed to start worrying about other stuff. So we are like, let's acquire some crafting materials.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start off with a good old intelligence check and hope we get there.
Am I
no.
still the
I'm
Am I
gonna
still the one doing this?
I'm going to cast guidance on whoever's doing it.
Okay.
And I will cast. Wait, does guidance give advantage?
An
D Wally? Is that on my side? Yep, that's on my side. Hello?
Hello.
Oh my god.
Additional D4, correct?
Oh yes. Okay.
So we got an additional D4.
It's still.
She got a 17, right? She had advantage, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're good. 17
Yeah,
with
just-
advantage, that's fine.
Yeah. I'm just 8 and 8 and
No, we're good. You got advantage, you got +1. So, let's hope that this formatted correctly. You should see a lot of darkness, and then in the bottom left-hand corner, you should see an open, a light space. Is that correct?
Yep.
There's dragons in the water.
There's some water dragons. It's true. Okay, so, you guys go, and I last time you guys went, you took Ciela. I imagine you took her this time as well, because she's the only one who has knowledge of both places. Is that correct?
Like, bitch has any chance not getting dragged everywhere with us for the rest of time.
True, but also her dad lives here.
It's true. Her estranged father lives here somewhere. So what you're seeing is the part of the world that she knows. This is not the whole world. She doesn't know a lot about main Nirvana. You know what I mean? So, you guys end up on this beautiful white and pink sand beach. there's this crystal clear lake or river or some large body of water to the south that you guys can see. Once you start looking over the water, like you can't see the shoreline of any other direction, you know. You can see off in the distance, you know, the occasional dragon, so that's correct. And Ciela lets you guys know that there are dragons in these waters. All the dragons, she does mention, all the dragons that are here are metallic dragons. So, no baddies. She lets you know there's a little path that you can barely see, I'll point it out, that heads into, like, where the large majority of the, like, good souls that have made it to Nirvana, as well as the heavenly host, where they're at. They're somewhere through this pass in the mountains. There's also 2 towers across the way. She's not sure what they were used for or what their purpose is, but she knows that they're chock full of other celestial beings, the warrior kind. And this tower that you guys are outside of here is the last remnant of Fiona when she marched into Nirvana, you know, millennia ago. It's very much abandoned from the outside, not worn because it doesn't work. You know, there's no erosion effects that happen. But so it's, and if you guys I don't know how you want to proceed, but it's got a dusty exterior. There's even, you know, like dust or sand piled around the front by the doors where, you know, it looks pretty clear that no one's been here in quite some time. So, what do we do?
It sounds like we should get materials from the abandoned place and leave.
Yeah, I agree.
Halbjorn's gonna scoop some sand into a sack and take some water.
I think we actually ended our session last time here because we were talking about the fact that we could see the tower and it was like full of demons or whatever. It was full of something we didn't want to fight.
No, that was the other place.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we still got up to mischief anyway.
Yeah, someone wanted to break all the way through, throw a few bombs in there, say what's up.
Someone did, if memory serves. But so you picked up some sand. You said, Helbjorn, And some water, yeah.
and the water when you put it in the vial is so clear. Unless you shake it around to get some little bubbles on top, it doesn't even look like there's anything in the vial. You know.
He's gonna take a sip of the water.
Oh no.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like a good idea.
Oh, potato, potato.
So you take a sip of the water and you feel like a rejuvenating effect. You're at full health, so it doesn't have like a, you know, like you don't notice an actual effect on your body besides the fact that it feels like in a poor circumstance this would be like this would rejuvenate you.
Okay. That is good to know.
Beyond that, we go in the tower. How much sand do you collect in pounds or kilograms, whatever?
We'll say. Let me roll a d6.
Okay. Let me just do it in Discord. Where's roll? I'm just gonna do it in general. I'll delete it afterwards. 3 kilograms of sand. Oh, I
Okay.
can't delete that.
No, you're fine. 3 kilograms of sand, that's not bad. So you pick up about 7 pounds of sand.
That's a lot of sand to put in your sack.
Well, you know.
He's got a big sack that's been torn open by several.
It gets coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yeah, I was waiting for someone to make that reference.
No.
So you got about 7 pounds of sand. I would say roughly each pound of sand, it would take about a pound of sand per ingredient. You know what I mean? Or per use. So you got about 7 uses. Do you wish to explore the tower? Do you wish to go farther in? Do you want to just go home?
We should explore Fiona's tower first.
Okay. Group consensus, is that all right?
I guess.
Okay, so here's my question. Before we go spelunking in the tower, are there any windows in the tower? Are there any
There are some
Any-
windows, some windows near the top. So the 3 towers that you've come across have all been identical in shape and size to the tower that you guys occupy. The only major difference has been what the outside has been built out of. So the outside of this tower is, I would say, it most closely resembles like a white marble. It's very hard, thick material, but it looks pristine. You know, despite being on the beach, it doesn't look weathered. It doesn't look discolored. It looks rather. It looks like a white countertop that you might see in a, like super rich person's house in reality.
Okay, so my next question is there any fauna? Any, do I see any animals?
So you can't see any creatures around besides the occasional like dragon you see that pops its head out of the water, and that's like probably at the edge of your vision. Beyond that, it's very quiet, not in a like ominous way, but more like the quiet you would hear going into a field really early in the morning.
So I'm going to ask Ciela if there's any birds that are native to this area.
And she replies that there are some like doves that occupy where the rest of the residents of Nirvana are. She's like, but here on the sand, here on the beach, there's not a whole lot. Like sometimes birds come out here from the main area, but otherwise, the majority of flying creatures are either celestial in nature or draconic in nature.
Okay, do they look like anything we have on the material plane?
Yeah, they look pretty much just like normal white doves.
Perfect. So I'm going to turn into a white dove and go fly around the windows and see what's going on up there.
So when you go up and see and look around, you can see the amount of, I don't want to really say dust, because it's not like dust has got in or whatever and worn things away, but the film of things that haven't been touched in some time. Like it looks completely abandoned. No one's been in here. You can't see any current residents. If someone was in here, they didn't touch anything and they didn't leave footprints.
Is there anything I can perch on to like take a closer look?
Yeah, sure. The windowsill.
Sure. I just want to like look in real deep. Like I just want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Maybe there's something amiss in there. Something, you know.
Sure. So you look around and you give it a real good look. Why don't you roll for perception?
Let me find the stat block of a dove. 1 second.
You're wild shaped. Don't you keep your wisdom, intelligence, and charisma scores?
Oh, let me check. I don't think so.
I thought in polymorph you did not, and in wild shape you did.
Let me find the rules. I honestly don't remember.
I'm pretty sure it's polymorph you don't. Wild shape you do.
Yeah, you do. You keep intelligence, wisdom, and charisma. Everything else changes. Perfect.
Okay. So you're probably going to be in good shape for this roll.
I have like a plus a bajillion, so yeah.
Oh
20.
yeah. So there is off. So the room you can kind of see is some sort of library looking area, right? There's a couple desks in the middle of the room, and along a lot of the walls and some of the walkways, there's either tall bookcases or shorter bookcases. You see like a lectern, you know, it's very much like an old abandoned library, right? But in over by one of the taller bookcases that goes the whole length to the ceiling, you see one wing, or not one wing, one feather. Not from a dove, definitely it's a large feather, so it'd have to be off of, I'd say, at least an eagle-sized bird, or more likely off of a medium-sized, like humanoid or celestial that has wings.
Okay. I'm assuming from this, does it look worn at all? Does it look like it's been there a while?
It looks like it has been there a while, but it doesn't look worn. It looks, I would say, it's white with like a little bit of a silvery hue to it when the light hits it. And it gives off, like, in the right light, it gives off a little bit of a like prismatic glow.
Okay. So I'm gonna fly back to my companions and tell them everything I've seen. I'll say it looks pretty clear in there, so I didn't listen. I should have listened. I should have listened to see if I heard anything.
You can go back and listen. Be
Yeah,
retroactive.
sure. I'm like, I don't really want to use my other trait of wild shape right now, but
So you go back and listen, or you listened previously when you were on the windowsill, and you don't hear anything. You don't hear anything at all. There seems to be some sort of like, even though you can't feel it outside, there is some sort of a slight breeze because you can hear it coming through the windows.
like going into the windows.
Yeah, so the windows look on the outside like they're sealed, but clearly you can hear that they're not as sealed as they should be. So you can hear some wind like coming in, but otherwise it's very, very quiet.
So okay. I'm gonna peck my beak at the window just to see how strong the glass is. See if if I peck, the window's just gonna break or whatever.
So when you peck, you can feel you can see the glass move a little bit as a single piece. So it's a fairly simple logical deduction that enough pecking or force would just push the whole window in.
All right, fuck it, powered chaos. I'm gonna peck that motherfucker till it falls.
So you peck it until it falls. the window falls out into the inside, and it falls as a single piece on the ground and stays together, like it doesn't break. But the sound of it falling on the stone just reverberates through the whole tower. And that's it, like echoes throughout the tower, but beyond that you don't hear any instant reaction. You don't hear people jumping up and around all of a sudden, and you don't hear fluttering of wings or anything like that. It looks more like that originally this window should have been sealed all the way, but someone has since gotten the window pushed out before.
So, okay. I'm gonna like look around the room. I'm assuming I can see like a doorway, and from that doorway, are there any other doors I can immediately see, or like is it just like what do I see through the door?
So after you come in through the window, it looks like the third floor of your tower, except for not into 9 rooms. It's just one flat level. So there is a doorway in, or I wouldn't say, there's a doorway coming up from the center of the room. Like a staircase that comes up, and on one side there's like an old ladder that goes up.
Okay. One ladder that goes up.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, okay, I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna step outside. Is there like a roof parapet or something? Is there anything like from outside? Could I see that there was anything telling me there was stuff on the roof?
You mean like shingles on the roof, or you mean
I
like
mean, like a platform, or like if it's is it just a is it a shingled roof, or is this like an actual tower roof where it's like it's got a parapet and stuff like that?
I would say it's more like the latter. There is a little like awning, I was going to say, that sticks out just above just past the windows, and it like covers out around it like an umbrella. But there's no entrance beyond like higher up than the window, or honestly even below the window, besides the door. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was really just wondering where the hell that ladder went to.
So if you remember, like I said, these towers are all built exactly the same as your tower. So the window you went in would be on like the 3rd floor of your tower, if you recall. So the ladder would go up to a 4th floor, and then if they're all the same on the inside, more or less as they are on the outside, then it's reasonable to assume that there's a 5th smaller throne room all the way in the peak of what you can see of this roof.
Okay. I'm debating whether I should actually go up there and poke around or not. You know what? I'm just gonna go back. Like I said, I'm gonna inform everyone what happened. Tell them I got inside. Looks pretty abandoned.
We should probably go in and boot up.
And based on what I'm seeing, there's probably not a lot in there, but we should at least go poke around. I mean,
Yeah. That painted glass sounds interesting.
Non-breakable glass. That is interesting.
Yes. That could have applications for armor, or secure buildings, or
shrapnel.
potion bottles, but shrapnel also works.
We could find a way to cut it into sharp pieces. That's just like reusable shrapnel.
You grind it up.
And we don't know that it was unbreakable when I dropped it, right? So,
Well, we could find a way.
There's a
Um,
will. There's a will.
so, you open up these doors and, Halbjorn, even as strong and big as he is, it takes him quite a bit of strength just to open these doors. It's clear from him trying to open them, that from this level, from the floor level, it has been quite some time since these doors have been open. They creak when you open them up, and the inside smells like someone hasn't been there in hundreds of years, probably. It's not the most well lit. Luckily, most of you have either dark vision or some way around that. Or you have torches, obviously. But so it's not the most well lit. It looks very much like the first floor of your tower. The only difference is there aren't separating rooms. It's like a one floor, like one room floor. Just this massive one room floor. And it's just piled place to place like like a hidden secret library sort of thing, right? Books everywhere, tables, like quill stations. You got bottles of ink places. There's some lecterns. There's a little area where it looks like there might have been some like magic practice going on, perhaps. And one side of the room where there aren't as many books and whatnot, you can see like what would probably be like scorch marks from some magical fire or something like that, but it hasn't hurt the integrity of the building, you know.
What?
Way in the back, there is a staircase that goes up. But otherwise, the room's empty, quiet, or not empty, but I mean, there's no one around.
I'm guessing
What
there's
condition are
books.
these books in?
Say that again.
The books.
The books. Lots of
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
What
I want to look
condition
at the
are they in?
books.
So the books are in various condition, from pristine to, I would say, well read. Most of these are in. Hold on. I'm like 90% sure that only one of you has this language, so I'm double checking. Yes, as far as I know, maybe Ciela too, but I'd have to double check. So all the books that you come across are in Sylvan. It's like
Ooh.
ancient Elvish essentially. They describe lots of different things. Lots of them are just like catalogs. Oh, Ciela does as well. Most of them are like catalogs of the local flora, fauna, the environment. You've got a whole book on each kind of metallic dragon.
Fascinating.
Yeah, but is there any smut? That's really why we're here.
No smut that you've come across on this level.
Disappointing.
That's probably in the basement or in the bedroom area.
Fair.
Don't discount the bathrooms.
Oh, yeah.
Well, is there any way we could have someone at the tower open up a portal for us?
Using what method would you interplanar contact someone to open, because there are people at the tower, right? But the question is, how do you contact them to let them know to come over?
Yeah, none of us still have sending.
I mean, what about? Can we use the stones, or does not work cross dimension? I don't remember.
Use what?
Sending the ruby rocks.
With Samuel and Aelin, both in your
Mhm.
party.
Well, I thought we gave some to other people. We had talked about this. Did we not end up doing that? We literally just never. We talked about like giving them to Ciela and Yellowbeard. Did we just never do that?
Pretty sure that's what happened.
Son
It's
of
possible
bitch.
then. I was gonna say Cielo puts you in the same boat, so you're not
Yeah.
much of an advantage there. But I would say if you guys think that at some point, and I don't remember, I do remember us talking about them. I don't know if we actually did. I would say if you guys agree that Yellowbeard has a sending stone, I think he does. I want to say
because I
like he
think
does,
we talked about giving it to those two and what's his face, Alistair.
because I want to say we did after Alistair and Yellowbeard chased down the Fisters. And then we couldn't communicate with them once they were out of town, so when they came back, then we wanted to rectify that situation. So it at least seems plausible in my mind that you guys have done that.
Here's the thing. We do a lot of times we talk about doing things and then forget, so I never remember if we actually did them or not.
So it's up to you guys. If you guys want to say, hey, yeah, we did do that, that's fine. It's canonical, works. If you guys decide, maybe we didn't do that, then no.
I mean, I'm okay with saying that we did it.
Canonically, I don't think we did, but I'm also okay with saying we did.
I distinctly remember talking about doing it, but I also don't think we did it. So at the same time, I'm also okay with saying we did it because it makes getting out of here much easier.
So we'll go along with it and say that either Yellowbeard or Alistair has a sending stone, and does that work? Interplanetary or interplanar? I guess the whole point will be moot if it doesn't, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, let's see here.
You're gonna actually have to look at sending. Sending is the thing that matters.
You can send the message. You can send the message across any distance, even to other planes of existence. But if the target is on a different plane than you, then there's a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive. So I'm going to roll a.
Whoa, hold on. Is one a fail or is 20 a fail?
Oh, 1 is a fail for sure.
Okay, I wanted to make sure. I wanted it in writing.
Okay.
Okay.
So your message comes across. What do you tell Yellowbeard? We'll say it's Yellowbeard.
Well, first question: Who is there who could open the portal? I mean, someone would know, like Ciela or someone in the party would know.
Oh, Malekith is there.
Okay, so you would say, so we had 25 words. Yellowbeard, tell Malekith, open portal, Nirvana, and then I would say like this location, and then give him the location.
Sure. So he responds back, and he says, "Okay, on my way." And about 20 minutes or so later, you start hearing this loud whirring sound up a few floors above you.
Okay. Let's go find that portal.
Yeah.
Halbjorn would like to stay behind and continue packing the books up for transport.
did we actually get? Oh, we were just here for sand, right? Never mind. I was like, wait, did we need bricks here? But no, it's sand here.
It's sand.
We should also take bricks, and these books would probably be good to take with us.
Let's just
It would
take everything.
also,
Be hoarders.
yeah. Well, there's also I think Nina
Just love a good
pledges
book.
her services to us in exchange for books or knowledge, rather.
It's true.
So, yo, dog, heard you like books.
we
We got
Brought
you
you a library.
brought you a whole library.
an old library.
So while Halbjorn's packing up the books, the rest go up the staircase, and much like the other rooms that, well, Harlan's seen 2 rooms at this point. Aylin's only seen 1. It's just like your tower, but 1-room floors. So right in the center of the room, there's a spiral staircase that goes up. Otherwise, this room is also just a massive library. A lot of these bookcases, though, the main difference versus the 2 that Harlan's seen at this point is all of these bookcases have like glass doors on them, and there seems to be some sort of lock on the doors. So all the books, you can see them, but they're not accessible without picking a lock or breaking the glass.
Hmm. Do they have titles on the spine?
So, Aylin, you go over and look at one of the titles in the spine, and one of the titles that comes across, there's a couple odd ones, but the one that really sticks out in the first bookcase that you see is a one that says like a celestial warfare. And then a couple of the other odd ones go into like like how to fight a metallic dragon. You have like general like destruction, like how to destroy. So it looks like a lot of how-to manuals and strategy guides, like how to destroy the stone, how to poison the water. This is some darker and battlier books. Less
Basically,
information,
just
more.
how-to guides on how to murder everybody on this plane, basically.
Yeah, that would be a good way to put it.
All right. As fascinating as those are, I don't think it would be a good idea for us to pack those around.
I mean, we might need them later.
Yeah.
So, do we attempt to get into the bookcases or go up the 3rd set of stairs? Or the 2nd set of stairs?
I vote ascend staircase.
And we know where they are if we need them.
Yeah.
If we had a limited time for portal, then I would agree. But I don't know how long this portal's going to stay up. We don't know how long they last. I don't think.
So you go up the next staircase, and Harlan, this is the room you've been in before, as a bird. As I said, lots more bookcases, lots more of that. This whole building so far seems like one big giant library, right? Some of the odd book titles that you come across and see in here are just some odd, like, I would say, like recipe books would be essential, not for cooking, but for making different items here on this plane versus how you would make them on other planes. And there is an odd little section that's just about the other planes. And like I said before, there's a small old ladder against one of the walls that goes up into a little spot that goes up further.
And the portal is obviously not on this floor, so it follows that we have to go up the ladder.
Correct. You don't see a portal on the floor. But as you've climbed up, it has gone louder and louder.
Okay. The book section on other planes, like what other planes?
So you see ones of the 3 other planes that you've been to. So, there's like creatures in the netherworld and creatures in purgatory and like major landmarks, stuff like that. There are also some about a plane you haven't been to, the Feywild.
Ooh.
Um, most of these books, the main odd part about them is one, this was the area where and you still see it on the floor when you go into this area, where there was a single feather on the ground. Also, these books on the Feywild looks like they've been disturbed. Not super recently, but much more recently than any of the other books. I would say it looks like someone's been here in at least the past 3 to 6 months. There is also a book missing, it appears, because all the rest of the bookshelves are very much like end-to-end books. The end of this bookshelf on the Feywild section, it like the books lean as if there's a book missing.
So it looks like there's a book on the Feywild that's been taken.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay. So whenever you remove a book from a nicely lined up and they all kind of just lean together, it's pretty obvious where that book was taken from. Can I take the one directly next to where it was and leaf through it to see, like, because I'm assuming each book on the Feywild is like a specific topic
Sure.
of its own. And assuming that, it would mean that like they're in some kind of order, and I might be able to guess what was the book that was taken.
So you flip before, and I imagine you're also going to do the one after where the spot is at, right? Probably. Yes, no? I was going to give you that information as well, so that's why I'm asking. Because it's about in the middle of this section where the books kind of come together and lean on each other. So whatever book this was a pretty thick book, right? The 2 books beside it, one book is about.
We'll take his silence as a firm no.
Apparently.
What? Oh, I'm off again? God damn it. Hello.
Hi.
Dog.
Dude, I had it on. I thought I looked at my thing and I was like, I'm not muted. So then when no one was responding, I was like, well, what the fuck? Okay.
Oh, you should have heard what she said.
Oh,
Oh.
I heard you guys. So it's about this book that's missing is about in the middle of the section. And I imagine you're also going to look at and so they kind of come to a point at the middle, where two sections are leaning on each other, meaning the book then in the middle that was taken is a pretty thick book. Okay.
Yeah.
So the one side of it talks about the general history of the Feywild. The one that's on the other side of it talks about the current Feywild. So the history goes up to the point at the end of the book in history. It notes the next thing on it is, or like the note on the bottom where it's like continued volume or however you want to think of it, says like it is about the reign of Fiona. And then the current section, the next one starts off with in the present era after the Fae had left. So the section in the middle is a pretty good sized book, but it's not over. Like the history of the Feywild probably covers a time period of beginning of time to right about towards the end. You get the birth of Fiona. So we're looking at least a millennia and a half old, or previous to your current time.
Okay.
And then the next book picks up with the major humanoid races sort of taking over the material plane.
Okay.
So there's probably about I would say at least 1,000, maybe even 1,200 year gap in between these. And the past, like the history, probably covers, I don't know, 20, 30 millennia. The last section covers the last 300 to 500 years.
Okay. So then it looks like you said that the ending section of the book of the history covers Fiona's reign.
The history book ends right at about, like, you get the birth of Fiona, and then you get like a couple little stories about her early history, and then it says, Fiona's story and reign continued in volume 2. And then when you get to the other book on the other side, it says like Feywild volume 3.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Ugh. I kind of want to take the feather.
This is your conscience. Fucking do it.
All right, take the feather. You've gone quiet again.
Oh, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Hi. Yes.
Oh, Jesus. Discord's fucking me over today. So the Ciela looks over the feather a little bit, looks at it, and she's kind of loses a little color in her face, which is hard to say because she doesn't have a lot of color in the first place. And she says this is from like an extremely powerful celestial. She said at least solar or planetar level. Am I saying that word right?
Planetar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level. So we're talking about like a really powerful celestial.
Heidi, don't chew on that.
Do you go upwards? Do you look around some more? Is this thing on?
I don't know. I feel like we should just probably bounce, personally, just because we don't know how long this portal's going to stay here.
Yeah.
So you go up the old ladder and you get to a room that very much looks like the fourth floor of yours again, without any walls. And in the center of the room, much like in your tower, there is a massive portal. There's a massive portal, and it's I wouldn't say flickering, but maybe like wavering. You can see that it either isn't like there's some sort of static interference is how I would best classify it. So either it's weakening or it wasn't very strong to begin with.
Well, that's fair. Shall we risk it?
No, let's get out of here. Let's not risk it. Let's go through. I think risking it by going through.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, I believe in Malekith.
All aboard? Halbjorn, have you collected all your shiz?
Well, here's the thing. He was packing all the books, not into his bag, but for transport in bulk. So he's still on the ground floor.
Oh, no.
So you guys might want to call down to him. Or just leave him there. I mean, it's up to you guys.
What
Can
could
I-
go wrong with leaving a chaotic neutral in a plane of absolute good?
List is long.
And not the neutral good kind either.
No,
Yeah.
the lawful stupid good.
The lawful good kind.
I don't really want to do a whole lot of shouting. So can I
Quickly run down the stairs?
Yeah, and be like, dude, what the fuck? Hurry up. We need to leave.
So you get down to the bottom floor and tell him.
Rude.
Yes, I know, but our portal isn't very stable. It's time to go.
Alright, well I guess we'll just have to come back for all these books later.
Yes, if this portal works and we survive this, we can come back later.
Okay. Let's go then.
All right. Thank you.
So
Sure.
you quickly make it back to the top. And there's a little bit of panic in Ciela's voice when she says, let's go now before the portal fails.
That's what I've been saying.
You guys go through the portal, is that correct? Everyone on board?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Oh, don't sound so disappointed. We're going home.
I'm not disappointed.
So you go through the portal, and as soon as you guys get to the portal in your location, then you can hear the portal, like as soon as you get through, get on the floor, you run through the portal, get through, get on the floor on the other side of the portal, and it like fizzles and makes like a little crack. And Malachus there, and he said, I'm sorry, I had trouble dialing it into your spot. Like I don't know what the issue is. It hasn't done this before. Like I'll look into it some more and figure out why it did that. He's like, because it should be an interplanar portal. Like it should kick you to somewhere else without any problem. So I'm not 100% sure where the interference is coming from.
Well,
Could be
I'm glad
location.
somebody's on the job. Thank you, because that's a great big library full of fun stuff down there.
Speaking of which, Halbjorn's gonna get out his handy dandy notebook and ask Fiona about the similarity between the towers.
And so what do you ask her specifically? Like, are the towers all similar? Do you have lots of towers in different places? Like, what's the deal about these towers? Like, what do you ask her specifically? I'm sorry.
He's going to tell her that the tower in the Nether and in Nirvana are remarkably similar to the one in the material plane that we've taken over. Are they linked in any way? And if so, should we be concerned?
And she tells you, she says, the towers are, like my old creations is how she would classify it. So like I used them when I needed, like when I once, went to the other planes and had to use a show of force to basically keep them off the material plane. She said, I'm not sure what condition the towers are in the Netherworld and in the Netherworld and in Nirvana. She says, but I do know that the one in Purgatory and the one in the Feywild are both like well kept. So beyond that, she was like, they're linked, but in the same way that the portal can link you to all the other portals. Like they all look the same because I made them.
Okay.
Does that mean she made a tower on the material plane?
Yes. Before was the Lich's Tower. She said before was a Lich's Tower, not the Lich. She says a Lich's Tower. It was mine. She's like, but at a certain point, I stopped taking an active role in the development of the material plane. So I left it.
Okay. So that answers my last question. We should be concerned. How do we turn it on?
She says it should be on. What do you mean?
How do we use the tower to move around?
I don't understand what you're asking.
Can we use the portal in the top of the tower to reach the other towers?
Yes.
So if there is interference between the towers,
It's not
Is
on
it
our side, she says.
okay?
Interesting. So that means that people with other towers could use them to reach ours. And
She
that's
says,
probably something we should get on top of ASAP.
is that something you say to her, or is that something you say to the others?
And sorry to the others.
Okay.
It sounds like you should verify that they others can access our tower from
Yeah,
the
well, I was gonna
others.
say we've got her on the horn right now. We might as well.
Yeah.
So you ask her if the other towers can come here?
Yeah.
So she says the tower on the material plane is the master tower, in the same way the master lodestone controls all of the other lodestones, all the other
Okay.
portals on the material plane. She says, so right now they only receive, the other towers only receive. Like, you can go, but it'll take someone to go back. Give me just a moment, I'm sorry.
Well, that's interesting news.
Mhm.
Sorry, Big Boss called and he was like, "Hey, where's something at?" And I was like, when I checked this morning, it was here, but I'm off site right now." He was like, "Oh yeah, you're at your appointment." I was like, "Okay." He was like, "Okay, I'll leave you alone." And I was like, "Okay, cool."
What is it they think you're doing, Dale?
Well, I just said I have a standing appointment.
Fair enough.
That's all I said. And I was like, I don't really want to go into it because then we have to involve HR, and then there's a whole issue there. And so then as soon as I start saying that, no one really likes dealing with HR. So then they're like, no, 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 it's fine. You're good. You put in enough hours other times. And I was like, okay, good. Just so we're clear on that.
That makes sense.
It's kind of bullshit. You have to lie about it, though.
I mean, it is a little bit. I mean, it's more of just, I don't know, like covering about it because, I don't know, some people don't understand.
Yeah, some people don't understand that no is a complete sentence.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, as Fiona said, all the other towers right now only are receivers to this tower. She says, like, in the past, I used them from go to one place to one place, and it was no problem because I was always like checking up. I had forces in those other towers. But since I've withdrawn from each tower, I've taken away the capability of them to, send out things.
You're saying that our tower is the pitcher. Got it.
Yes. As it currently stands, your tower pitches, all the other towers catch. You have a harem of towers.
Gaming.
All right, game over. That's it, folks. We won.
Oh.
Can that functionality be restored? And if so, would it function similar to the Lodestone network, or would we still have to post guards?
She said it's kind of like the Lodestone network, as in you could restore them. She said, but given the nature of how I built them and how powerful they are versus the other sites, like the individual sites on the material plane that you can go to, she says there's either an on or an off. She said if you turn them on, either be expecting someone to come and post guards near our portal or post guards at the other portal. She's like, they're too powerful to add intricacies without breaking down the magic and putting it back together.
So can we temporarily turn the tower on? Like if we know we're going somewhere, could we turn the portal on until we come back?
Yeah.
And just temper it. Okay, so that's the quick and easy answer. We need to go to, let's say we need to go back to Nirvana. Say, okay, flip the portal on at Nirvana and then put some guards there at our entrance. Be like, look, if anything comes through before we come back and it's not us, kill it. Sort of thing. I mean, talk to it first and then probably kill it.
Right. Yep, and that's an easy workaround.
Okay.
So now you have sand. Now you have nether brick. Now you have a purgatory brick. You have gems. You have the capability of getting essence of an undead, a powerful undead. The guy's still under contract for 6 more days. You have to finish up the rest of the day. I would say after what you've done, it's probably mid-afternoon. I would say like the 2 to 4 area. It's not that time on the other 2 planes, what you've noticed, and so that I can just better explain how it works. It's not that time doesn't pass on both Nirvana and the Netherworld. It's that they don't have a way of keeping track of time because light source doesn't move. So in the Netherworld, it's always like a hazy, dark, reddish light. In Nirvana, it's a bright, white, clear, warm light. But it doesn't move, like the sun doesn't move. They don't have days, quote unquote. But time passes normally. While on the other hand, purgatory, time doesn't pass normally. It exists outside of time. So 5 minutes there could be days here, and a year there could mean 10 minutes here. Like the Narnia principle.
Didn't realize Narnia has school.
Nice.
So is Lene still here? I haven't heard her talking forever.
I'm here.
Yeah, I'm here. I got hungry, and then the cats were like, "We demand food," and in order to not disrupt everything with a bunch of noise, I've been muted and just listening.
That's fair. I just want to make sure you. I want to make sure you just didn't black John us and fall asleep mid session. That's all.
No, I snore as well. You will hear it.
How dare you say something so accurate about me?
Okay, I only fire shots when I know they're gonna hit.
So, what's the plan for the rest of the day? Do you have a plan for the rest of the day?
No?
Take card, go to Mom's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, wait for this all to blow over.
Sounds like a good plan.
We have magic people at the tower, right?
Yeah.
Nina and Malekith.
Which one would be more suited towards? Actually, Malekith is busy right now, so Nina it is. Halbjorn's gonna take one of the vials of water he collected, to her and tell her to, hey, would you mind having a gander at this? It's from Nirvana.
She takes a look at it and brings it over to like a little alchemist table that Malekith has set up. And looks at it and she says, and she's a little shocked when she says, oh, hold on one second. Isaac pooped on the potty and he is not wiping his butt yet.
And just like that, I'm flooded with memories of all the foster children I helped my mom raise.
Wait. Jeez.
Yeah. I have a reason when I say fuck them kids.
Did you also have multiple siblings?
They were all grown up except for my biological sister.
Hmm.
But from the age of 2 to like 19, I was an assistant in my mother's addiction to foster children between the ages of newborn and 3 years old.
Oh, dude, that's fucking rough. I'm sorry.
Ouch.
Yeah, that was alright.
I mean, on one hand, you were helping people, which is nice, but on the other hand, it's really rough to have that kind of responsibility in a young child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if I never have to change another diaper in my life, it'll be too fucking soon.
That's fair.
Okay.
I think that's why all of my charges have a coat of fur and 4 feet instead of hands and feet.
Goldfish would be nice.
Yeah?
So, Nina's looking at the water. She's a little shocked. She says, "This has This has similar properties to a healing potion." She said, "But instead of doling it out of once, she says over a minute. She says it would heal, heal a small amount. So what that means in technical terms, like outside the game, the water would, the water every round for a minute, it gives you 1d6 hit points back.
Oh.
So it's a regeneration potion instead of a healing potion in the form of water.
Yes.
And
Cute.
that's a powerful. That's what? 10d6 healing?
Yep.
Jesus. So next time we go there.
She does mention, she said there is a, it does look like you would build a tolerance to it very quickly, she says. So repeated use would be ill recommended.
What's really going on here is Dale is trying to stop us from abusing this. Got it.
I mean, from an outside standpoint, a little bit. From an inside standpoint, there's a real game reason why. You guys just haven't come across it yet.
So, what is everybody's alignments?
Chaotic good.
Okay.
Chaotic good.
Very good. Let me roll another d6 to see how many I got. 3 total. Okay. Why don't one of you guys have a sip from it to see how it feels? Because we're going to get more when we go back, obviously.
I'm not a huge fan of the idea of ingesting just rando liquids, especially things from the other planes of existence.
Fair enough, Harlan.
Yeah, sure, why not?
So,
I don't kink shame.
Harlan,
I'm not kink shaming. I'm just not into it.
Harlan, you drink the potion, and you feel this rejuvenating effect. There doesn't seem to be much of a difference from where the effects that Albion described. You do feel, now that you're outside the plane and drinking it, you feel thirsty after drinking it.
Okay, so I'll take a swig of water.
Why don't you drink another vial?
No.
And even after drinking one swig of water, it appears that you'd realistically have to drink about a large cup. I don't know. I would say like whatever 32 ounces, like a big mug of it,
Hey, who's got beer?
in order to like compensate from the thirst.
Who's got beer? I'm drinking that much. I'm getting smashed.
Do we have anybody who is lawful in the tower? Or maybe someone who is evil?
Well, the evil person who I tried to get you guys to work with, for some reason you guys didn't like him.
There's a lot of people we dislike. You got to be more specific.
Oh, he had some tattoos, kind of sketchy. What was his name?
Dickbag.
The leader of the Fisters?
The head fister.
Yeah.
He fists all other fisters.
Fisto Prime.
Fisto Prime.
Or would the head of the sisters be the one that
Gets
know,
fisted
like,
by all?
gets, yeah, because he's the head of being fisted.
As far as lawful goes, Alistair's lawful good.
Okay, so we're going to force him to imbibe a unknown liquid.
Why can't you just ask nicely?
Well, force asks nicely but persistently. You know, potato.
So is that like a, hey, we go to the Vanguard where he's at right now sort of thing, or in the future we're going to ask him to?
We should send a formal invitation and have him come to the tower later. And be like, hey, we'd like you to drink this. It's from Nirvana. Would you like to witness perfection?
So you send out the invitation to him, and there will be an hour gap or so between when the messenger will come back and from when he left to when he'll come back with a response. Do you want to do anything in that hour, or no? Just waiting around, checking things out?
Yeah, I just want to kick back and chill.
I'd say.
So about an hour later, the messenger comes back, and message from Alistair reads, hey, I'll be over later this evening. He comes and he says, hey, I'll be by this evening. If you guys need anything else, let me know. Just very short, sweet, to the point.
Pardon me.
Do you have anything during the day you want to get done? Or do we want to just wait until Alistair shows up later this evening?
Let's get crunk.
Yeah, I'm okay with the getting drunk idea.
We have nothing that's pressing. Everything that's left is like wait. We're basically just waiting, and we don't want to get like super smashed because we do need to interact with Alistair. But we should have a few drinks, have a big meal, relax a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys
Halbjorn
relax. Oh,
can
sorry.
be the designated driver. Go wild.
You guys drink a little bit, eat whatever, and shortly after dinner, I would say right about nightfall or so, Alistair comes by and he says, hello, how have what have you guys gotten yourself into this time? He says, jokingly.
Well, we went to Nirvana, pilfered some sand and some sparkling clear water. We'd like you to try some of it. Makes you feel real good.
And he says, sure. I mean, if it's from Nirvana, it can't be too bad. So he drinks the vial, and afterwards, he calls for someone to bring him some water. And he goes through, I would say, roughly a pitcher of water or so. And he said, "Man, I feel great. I feel, he jokingly says, I feel, 100 years younger." He says, "But I was just so thirsty afterwards." He was like, it almost was like and honestly, the more and more water I drank, the more and more I could feel like in the back of my mind that the real thirst quencher, like he was like, I'm fine now. But he was like, what really felt like is if to quench my thirst would have been more of whatever was in the vial.
Interesting. We observed a similar effect in Harlan.
Hmm.
Well,
Jot that down for later.
it's a shame we only have the one vial left.
I think it sounds like a good thing.
Well, because I think that maybe repeated use will incur exhaustion through dehydration.
I don't know what you were waiting for there, but I'm not going to answer that.
Oh no, I wasn't waiting for you.
I was like, I'm not going to answer your conjecture.
I can neither confirm nor deny the validity of your. I don't know. Sounds like something I'm good at. That I don't need to. That I don't need to have.
Wait, we still have one of those dick shits that were selling people locked up, right? Or did we
Yes.
execute them already?
No, there's one left because remember we're gonna take him back for the slaves.
You guys want to use him as a guinea pig? Maybe he'll explode.
You were supposed to be like,
No, he's chaotic neutral.
Chaotic
yeah.
neutral.
All right.
He's not good or bad. He's just chaos.
All right. Oh, it might be fun to watch someone explode.
So are we in agreement?
No, because we need him for the slaves. The slaving
Fuck.
issue. Yeah.
We'll have to find another bad guy to capture.
Although, if we start hoarding bad guys to experiment on, if we stop being
Are we the baddies?
I think we've crossed that line a while ago. We're not the bad guys, but we're also, not a force of benevolent good in the world. I feel like we're out for ourselves, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's probably a fairly fair assessment.
I'm only vaguely concerned by that.
So, the anything left for tonight or on to tomorrow? Because tomorrow, one of the day events happens.
Will we receive a visit from the Dayman?
Fighter tonight.
Fighter of the Nightmare?
Oh.
That meme will never fucking die. I'm good with skipping to the day for everybody else's.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
So, Alistair leaves, goes back home, and ooh, there we go. Fairly early in the morning, Yellowbeard comes by, and throughout most of the morning, both Halbjorn and Harlan continue to feel a little thirstier than normal. You know what I mean? It's not like they're parched all the time, but they're definitely drinking a little more water than they normally would, or a little more liquid, I guess, depending on your what you want to drink or whatnot. Yellowbeard comes by and he says, he says, "Do you guys have a moment to chat? You know, like I've got some updates regarding the situation here in Mech."
Certainly.
And he says, "I've persuaded some nobles to join our side, join and go along with our causes." He says we have just over half of the aristocracy backing us, and he says, but among the people, we're at roughly a 90% approval rating.
Wonderful.
So the people like what we're doing. Aristocracy isn't 100% sure yet. He says, I can continue to work on some more. He was like, but it's going to take me more time if we get more aristocrats on our side. He says, but I've secured over half. 5 of the 9 families support us.
Realistically, how many? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was only going to ask, are these ones that are worth having on our side?
He says at least 3 of them are worth having on our side. He says the other 2 that I had to how do I put this? Gently persuade are somewhere in the middle. They're very gray. Sometimes darker gray than lighter gray. But he says they command some of the one of the families in question commands the guard that's not that aren't vanguards. He was like, so they may be gray, but we need them on our side to move forward. So we definitely don't want to deal with other internal military forces.
Well, we could be nice. We could play nice to them for now, and slowly erode their power out from underneath them, and cut them loose when we no longer need them.
Okay.
But,
He
great
says
news.
he asks, so what's the plan now? Now that we have people trusting us and are on our side with our views one way or the other, what do we do now?
Well, we set up an election. That's what we do. We did spend time getting people to trust the idea that we want to set up like a government to actually run these things. So we start setting up the government. We make flyers saying elections coming. We do all the sorts of things we need to do for that kind of stuff. Figure out how we need to do a little bit of planning, figure out what we want the government to actually look like, right? Like do we want like a council with a mayor? Do we want just a mayor? Like, what do we actually want here?
I think a council with the mayor sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I do as well. I would say what we do is we set up like a council with a mayor, and we say we probably put like the mayor plus a couple people, and we pick some of those people from the families and some of those people from the average citizens. Pick is not the right word. We let them run.
Yeah.
So
I
that
would suggest a representative number.
yeah, I agree. I would say just do open and let anyone run. The problem is that what ends up happening there is always the rich people are going to be they're just going to take all the slots, and that's not really fair for the. We'll keep the locals happy if we feel like they have a say, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if we do like two people from there's 9 wealthy families. Okay, are any of these wealthy families like in groups or alliances or anything? I mean, if we say, oh, we're taking 2 people from each group, or we're going to set it up for 2 people of each group, there's definitely going to be some amount of alliances forming. But
there's so the out of the 5 groups, the 2 that are gray are aligned, and it's they control or employ, however you want to look at it, the remaining city guard and a large swath of the mercantile complex.
mm-hmm.
The 3 families that are good, that are allied with you guys, are also allied with each other. So that's why you got all 3.
Sure.
They're all looking for a general good benefit of the people, of the situation as a whole. Basically, I would describe these as wealthy, well-intentioned people that can't put a plan together, but that are willing to fund good projects.
Okay.
The remaining 4 Yellowbeard describes are less allied with each other and more allied with the idea that this situation in Mech stays the same. The rich stay rich, the poor stay poor, and as long as the rich are happy, then the poor kind of get the runoffs. So they're all against each other, but they're all allied with the idea of keeping the status quo. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Hmm,
The best kind of rich people,
clearly.
clearly.
Well, why don't I'm in no mental shape to be making political suggestions?
All right, so here's what I'm thinking: two council of 4 members that goes with the mayor. Well, actually thinking. I'm thinking of this sort of like how the U.S. Congress is, where you basically have, the city council makes a set of rules, or votes go to the city council, stuff goes to the city council, they make a decision on it, goes to the mayor gets final say, essentially. Um, so in that case, we probably want to do like a flat, an odd number of members on the council. So like 2 and 2, or excuse me, 3, 5 members. Or actually, maybe we can just do 5 total people on the council, and then mayor's one of them, and then the mayor's always, everyone else votes, and the mayor's the tiebreaker if necessary.
That's fair. That's easy enough.
So basically, 2 members from the 2 people from like the wealthy elites, 2 people from the lower class, and let's not fool ourselves. Most people from anyone who gets elected by the lower class is probably going to have some amount of wealthy influence upon them. So it's not like they're going to be corrupt. There's no getting around it. There's not a chance we can avoid it unless we get to the point where we can actually pay them a salary that's way above what everyone else gets. They're just going to be corrupt.
It's probably a fair assessment. So Yellowbeard says, so you guys want to set up open elections for 5 seats. One being the executor, I guess I would say, of the legislative body.
Yes, and that person, the goal here is to make that person you.
He says, okay, that sounds good. I'll have my guys start, sending around flyers. He was like, I'd like to give, he was like, we realistically should give the people at least a week or at least a week to 2 weeks for everyone to know about the election, so we have a decent turnout.
I 100% agree with you, and I feel like we shouldn't just let. So, out of character in the real world, a lot of times in like the UK, if you want to run for an office, right, you have to get signatures saying people will actually think you're like a reasonable person to run. I feel like we should do something similar where it's like, okay, you have to you have to actually want it enough because if we just say, oh, anyone could throw their name in the hat, everyone is going to throw their name in the hat. If we say, oh, you have to go get 50 signatures, it's just a random number. I don't know if that's appropriate, but that's going to cut a lot of people out who are like, ugh, I don't want to deal with this, right?
Right, exactly. So, Gilbert says, okay, so we'll set up a head count of, I don't know, you need, based on our city, it was like, let's say 1% of the population to agree with you and say, hey, I want to support this guy.
Yeah.
So we'll give a week to get ballots in, and then another week to have everyone set aside a day so everyone can vote for who they want.
Sure. Sounds good to me, honestly. You're creating so much future drama for this game. Yeah, let's do that. Excited to see what happens here. I'll be honest, like I want to actually watch the election results real time personally. I want to see what the people do because I mean obviously this is very different for them. This is not like anything else they've done. That's thing one. Thing two is I think there's going to be some level of excitement, and also, do we want to establish some sort of pay for these people? Like, that's the thing to note. Like, we're going to start levying taxes here soon. Do we just want to establish some amount of pay for them so it's not just so people want to do this and it's not just something they're doing of their own volition. They're actually being obviously we can't pay them a ton right now, but wages will increase as net revenue of the city increases, basically.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I mean that's up to you guys. Without a tax system right now, those funds would come out of your pocket.
Okay, first question: what's the average annual salary of someone who lives in this town?
I'm
guessing less than 10 gold.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So let's divide that into two groups. The aristocracy average yearly income is probably in the realm of, I don't know, 1,000 gold a season, so 4,000 a year.
Sure.
The average person is probably more like 1 gold piece a season, so 4 a year.
So yeah, if we paid 50 gold a year just as a starting rate, all the poor people are going to be ecstatic. The rich people don't need the help. For them, it's about having power, right? They now have extra power. They're now basically being given more power that they don't have to wheel and deal, less scheming. Everything seems clean. So just saying, hey, we'll pay each of you 50 gold a year to do this job, and then re-elect people every 2 years or whatever. I think we make 200 gold in when we're adventuring, we make 200 gold in 10 minutes. That's not. Look, we piss excellence. 200 gold is nothing.
I'm back.
Okay, so got base salary of
Are we paying them a living wage?
We're paying them far more than a living wage. So the average yearly income here for a non-wealthy person is less than 10 gold. We're paying 50 gold a year per everyone on the council.
Oh, okay. What about the normal people?
That's for literally everyone. Or you mean what are the normal people make 5 gold a year? The rich people make thousands of gold a year. I mean, as you'd expect.
Yeah.
It's the normal people will be getting a wage that's much better than their current lifestyle. The rich people don't need the money, and they'll have they're getting paid in what they actually want, which is power. So,
yeah.
As I was saying a little bit ago, for us, that is a measly amount of money. We make that in when we go adventuring. We'll adventure for 3 or 4 days and make what these people make, and the rich people make in a year here is what we make in 3 or 4 days adventuring. I'm not really worried about the money.
Yeah. Also, we're risking our lives to do that instead of just collecting money and sitting on it like a fucking duck.
Yeah. Yeah, that should be enough money to make the poor people want to do this, and hopefully the good people rise. Also, I'm gonna say to Yellowbeard, can we keep tabs on anyone who starts popping up as the the forerunners in this?
He says, "Yeah, sure. Like I'll I'll keep one of my guys on just kind of checking in and see where the winds go, where the wind's blowing towards people."
Yeah. I don't really want to like have an effect on the. I have no interest in like messing with the election, but I do want to know what we're getting into before it happens, so we can we can plan for all eventualities.
Mhm.
He says, "Yeah, sure. I can get that. I can get that set up. No big deal."
And the ideal, like really, like I said, I'm expecting the more common folk to be corrupted. But if we can not have two people who have been paid by basically the evil families in town, and if we could have one who's working for the good family and one who's for the even family, or one for the good family and one of the more grave families, I'd be happy with that. Ideal world, it's not someone who's in either of those pockets, but let's be real, I'm not going to be that idealistic. I know better.
Right. Okay, so Alistair's gonna set that up. I have a time on the clock or time on the schedule for when that's going to happen. And I have the basic outline for what like the initial concepts of the council. So 14 days out puts us at the third month, the 9th day. And that's 2 days after most of our second round of military contracts. That's that's 2 days after that and 4 days before we are scheduled to meet the slavers in summertime.
Yep, sounds good. So what's the next thing on our date up list here? I've got oh no, all of my stuff that I've written for time is gone.
So slavers are 18 days away. Guildship is 34 days away. The first House of Champions contract ends in 1 day. The other 3 contracts end in 12 days.
Okay. So we don't really have anything pressing until then.
So, do we want to time skip then, or is there something during that realm of 10 or so days before things start coming up?
What materials do we still need for making weapons? That's the question.
So, you currently have the materials to make any of the dormant weapons or armor. You have one ingredient for, you can make one, well, I mean, you'd have to go and get it from Cassandra, but there's an ability for you guys to get a couple awakened weapons. They'd be the undead options. Beyond that, you have to go and find powerful creatures in the other groups.
I mean, we could just ask them very nicely for a blood donation.
Good, yeah.
I want to see the type of conversation that you guys have between an aberration or a monstrosity that
No, like a
says,
celestial.
"Oh yeah, no." I want to see the conversation that happens between an aberration or a monstrosity and you guys saying, "Hey, can we just have some blood of yours? I know you're like a kraken or whatnot, but could we just get some, help us out a little bit?"
Well, I'll tell you exactly how it would go. Smashy, smashy. Hey, I need some of your blood. Not sorry.
Not even gonna lead with the sorry, not sorry. It's just the straight not sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to like mislead them. They'll hear sorry and they'll go, "Oh wow, how polite." Not sorry. Oh wow, rude. Fucking stupid. Maybe if it's one of lawful stupid's people, we could like, hey, we need a blood sample. It's for mortal magics beyond your comprehension. And when they ask for clarification, we just lie our fucking asses off.
Do you think that Lawful Stupid has people in his employ that would qualify for the high CR count?
Oh, absolutely. He's a god. Why wouldn't he?
I mean, you're not wrong. I would thought you meant a different Lawful Stupid because there are 3 Lawful Stupids that I can imagine. 3 characters who are lawful, and depending on if you're calling lawful evil stupid or lawful good stupid.
Lawful good.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
lawful stupid is generally like straight lawful. I mean, you can be lawful good or lawful evil, but it's literally like following the rules to a T. It's more common with lawful good, but you still get lawful evil people who do it.
Yeah.
Like, follow the rules or I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there are definitely 3 of those people, and I thought you meant Sir Fister. But when I made that comment, but yeah, definitely no.
Nah.
Go over to Nirvana, do some exploring, talk to Michael, and be like, "Hey, can you get one of your Celestials to just give us some blood?"
We could just be honest, be like, listen, we're going to use it to forge a mighty weapon to strike down teenage angst.
And eventually you.
He doesn't need to know that.
No, that's an option. You want to go and explore Nirvana? By all means, we'll go and explore Nirvana. You guys want to go to a Feywild and find a Fey that meets the qualifications? We can go find a Fey that meets the qualifications.
We
You
could
guys
ask
go.
Fiona.
Ooh, that's a good characteristic.
I mean, she knows what we're gonna do with it. Make a weapon out of it, not to strike her down.
That she knows of. We're gonna just start striking everyone down.
We have gone mad with power. Despite the fact that we're just, generally speaking, typical mortals, we're going to take over the gods.
Ugh. Sorry about that.
You better be.
I fucking take it back now.
So where are we going? What are we doing? Who are we slaying?
Oh, well, my vote is Nirvana, you know. Open up a portal, clean that fucking tower out, make Nina a very happy and busy person, and also possibly enrich ourselves with knowledge. Pardon me. We could also ask Fiona for a sample of her blood.
Now, when you say clean out the tower, do you mean just like
Wait,
take that? What?
we already have samples of her blood.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. She gave it to us willingly too.
Sure
She's
she
like,
Uh-huh.
did.
"Hey, you might need this." Oh, I feel fucking stupid now. Yeah. Sorry, what were you asking, Aelin? For
So you said go in and clean out the tower, and it's like the tower was pretty freaking empty, except for all of the books that take up all of the space.
books, yes.
So you want to
Take all
go
the
in
books.
and take all the books, okay?
Yes. We. I don't think it's Nina,
Don't eat that, asshole.
but
Oh,
we
whoa,
have
whoa.
someone working
I'll
for
eat what I
us.
want.
Hey, it's 2020. We eat asshole. 2021.
No. The asshole, which was a cat, was trying to eat my headphone cords
That's fair.
because he's set up underneath my desk. Ow. Okay.
It's 2021. The cord challenge.
2021. The asshole is back.
Yeah, we should get all those books and also take whatever literally anything that isn't bolted down that may be of value or not of value. Who knows? I mean, we're adventurers. We're not fucking scientists, researchers, or shit like that.
No, but we have some.
Yes, exactly. I might be like, oh, this desk that you brought through the portal for some inexplicable reason is actually made out of a very rare type of wood that can be weaponized. Yeah.
It's up to you guys. I just want a group consensus.
Want a group consensus on what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea.
So I missed some stuff here. The last thing I was honestly really able to pay a lot of attention to was talking about the idea of time skipping or not, and what Black John was talking about, I couldn't really pay attention to what he was saying. So
My suggestion was that we return to Nirvana and take everything that isn't nailed down,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
then return and take everything that is nailed down with great effort.
There was also talk of maybe just asking baddies for their blood. Like, we could kill you, or you could just give us a vial of your blood.
Sure.
Oh, and on that note, Halbjorn greatly suggested or remembered, I guess would be a better term, that you already have Fey blood. Powerful Fey blood.
It's true. We do have Fey blood.
The most powerful, you might even say.
The most powerful, you definitely would say.
That's true. Which bloods, like, which rare material did we actually need from that? I don't remember.
So from Fey blood, there's shifting illusion, and primal power from the undead that you just have to go to Cassandra and ask for ashes from the Illith that she destroyed. You'd have undeath or life sap.
I think I
Now,
wanted undeath for one of mine.
as far as Fiona's blood goes, definitely could be used as the Fey component. However, just to remind you, her children or awakened werewolves, however you want to look at it, once her blood was used to make the magical weapon, they would no longer, it wouldn't work in the way that coating your weapon and using it on them would. Just so we're clear.
Understood.
And you have 5 uses of those, I believe.
Okay.
Let me look.
Are you the kitty cat?
What?
I was also in the communal backpack and then I saw, cheetah, I guess. I saw
Okay.
someone else popped in and I assumed that it was Black John.
Okay, are you the kitty cat? That makes sense. That makes more sense than what I heard, which is hear the kitty cat, and I'm just like, what?
I heard here's the kitty cat too.
You know, I was going to make a reference that there's no way in hell any of you would understand. But I'm not going to be a smug piece of shit today.
Oh, but
Wow.
now I'm curious.
Okay. Tell me, capitalist dog, in America, is it true that hordes of pigs can appear out of nowhere and eat children?
That made me think of the 30 to 50 wild hogs.
Here.
That made me
But
think
you're
of
right.
the
I didn't
movie
get it.
Wild Dogs.
Not quite. Yeah. So, are we gonna storm the castle?
You want to go out and well, what if we open the portal to Nirvana and take our magical consultants and or intelligent peoples with us so that they can be like, okay, this is worth taking, so that our limited space tower doesn't become full with another entire tower's worth of crap.
That's no fun. They'll serve as makeshift defense fortifications in the event of an invasion.
Okay, to be perfectly honest, I have no idea what you just said.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good idea. And taking some grunts with us to help pack shit up wouldn't be a bad idea either. You know,
Yeah. Who wants to go on an adventure, we say?
and they say, "Oh boy, I can't wait. Mom will be so proud." Yeah, she sure will, champ.
It's true. Mom will be excited.
So you ask, Nina obviously volunteers. Malekith states that it's probably better to have someone on the end of the portal in case fizzes out or whatever. As far as your normal dudes go, where's that? As far as your normal dudes go, I know you got 2 random normal dudes. And then excuse me. I swore I had a thing where we were tracking what dudes we had. Where's that at? I know it from my phone. Oh, here we go. So you have 4 normal armies. Four normal army dudes. You can also get levies from the town to help. And then 2 special army dudes, which are also Fae, ironically. They
I
are
say
huge.
we should bring everyone.
Aren't we only planning to be there for a little bit? Do we really need to take that many people?
Well, we'll use the big chumbos to guard the portal, and then the other guys to again help us pack shit up and move it.
Yeah, but the thing is, 4 armies is quite a bit of people.
No, not armies, people.
So you've got 1 group of 8, 2 groups of 8, a group of 6, and a group of 4, and then 2 rando dudes and 2 super big dudes.
Well, in that case, I'd say take a group of 8 for labor, and then at least one of the big guys to provide security.
Makes sense.
Sure. So, I think it's probably more appropriate to take the group's called your infantry group is called the locals. One of them. And as far as the super big dudes who would help you out, we have a dragon. I have super elite Fae, but I thought it was a dragon.
Well, hell, if we've got a dragon, like, is it a full-size dragon?
No, I'm not sure. I have it being a Fae, so I'll have to double check. But the other one's a Jinn.
There's a
Sir
he a
Rob
copper
Jinn.
Sir Robin?
No, it's Sir Rob Jinn.
Sriracha. Gotcha.
Oh man, I made a pork tenderloin with this glaze that's just basically sriracha and brown sugar last night. Let me
Ooh,
tell you, sriracha plus brown sugar is really good.
Yeah, it is. Mm.
man, I want to say it's a dragon though. I want to say this other one is the dragon. I know I have Super Elite Fae here, but I really think it's a dragon because the name is Aurelian, and that would have reminded me that it was gold. Is there a gold dragon?
So, you know,
There is.
like alliances from when we did the tower stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a gold dragon. I don't know why I have Fae. I'll fix that. So we've got a dragon and a Fae, which is a Jinn. And both of them are pretty freaking massive.
Well, my idea with the dragon was that we could have it fly one of our group over to the water dragons, and maybe have a chat with them while everybody else at the tower is doing their thing.
Yeah. What would you want to talk to the dragons about?
Mm. See what they're doing.
Hey guys, what are you up to? Swimming?
Splish splash, taking a bath. I don't know. They might have some sort of insight to the realm or the water that they're constantly bathing in.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Yeah. Also, we have a dragon scale that Felicity gave us that will force any dragon to be non-combative with you.
Initially.
Yeah, unless you piss it off. And these are metallic dragons, so it's not like they're gonna aggro on sight,
Right.
or at least they shouldn't. You know, explore all avenues when available when you can.
No, that's fair. So the plan is we go back to Nirvana, correct? We have the Jinn guarding the portal. We take back the townies. We take the townies with us and the gold dragon. Is that correct? The locals?
I'm down with that.
Yeah, sounds okay.
Okay. So we'll go back through and put that out. And so when you come back through the portal, the gold dragon, Aurelian, mentions to you guys, he says, I feel the presence of another dragon nearby. So just giving you guys a heads up.
Yeah, there's a couple in the lake to the south.
He says, no, like, and then he closes his eyes for a second, and then he says, I would say about half a mile up.
Okay, let's look up. I'm gonna look up and see what I can see.
You see the ceiling.
Get fucking nerd.
I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna walk to the nearest window and look up.
So you look up and you see what appears to be an ancient silver dragon. Just kind of floating around, looking around, like, but he's kind of circling the tower. He doesn't notice you sticking your head out, though.
All right. Well,
I don't know what rules Silver Dragon follow in this world. I'm assuming they're at least somewhat similar to standard D&D dragons. So they're not going to try to murder us right off the bat. But
Correct. Yep, metallic dragons are good. Chromatic dragons are bad, just like in normal D&D.
Okay, good.
so who's gonna go talk to it?
You, since you're a chatty fucking.
Well, I mean, I'll do it, but I just wanted to see if you guys wanted to have a chance to talk to a dragon.
Say it with.
Sorry, say that again.
There's a dragon right here that we can conversate with.
She's like, fuck that other dragon. I ain't trying to figure that shit out.
All right. Well, Halbjorn is going to get his handy dandy magical skill out and tap the gold dragon on the shoulder. Like, all right, buddy, you're up. Let's go.
So he transforms himself into a person just for the moment. There's not a lot of space, I would say. But so when he does, he has like a very he looks very humanoid except for like bright golden skin.
Mhm.
And he says, "Do you want to just jump out the window, or should we go downstairs and around?"
Which one do you think sounds more fun?
And he just kind of like smiles and like bolts downstairs, and then a moment later, you hear you hear him transform back into a dragon, and he's
All right,
flapping his
cool.
wings outside.
Going out the window.
So Albion, you jump on the dragon, and the silver dragon comes and approaches you. The dragon you're currently on is an adult. Is that one size down from ancient?
From ancient. It sounds like there should be something between, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Ancient? No, it's adult. Ancient adult. I thought there was something in between, but no.
Okay. So the one you're on is the next size smaller. And the silver dragon quickly comes down to your location. And says in Draconic to Aurelian, he says, where'd you guys come from? And who are you? Very direct. I wouldn't say it's impolite. It's just very direct. He's like, what the fuck? Where are you guys? Like, where did you guys come from?
Halbjorn's going to reply in Draconic that we came from the material plane. We're here to visit. We have absolutely no harmful intentions.
He's like, okay, that's good. He was like, and he was like, I and a few of the other dragons sensed that someone had recently been to this abandoned tower. So, Michael had us sit and, like guard it on a regular basis to see if someone would come back. So
Yeah,
now I
no,
can
that's
inform him
understandable.
that, it's a good group.
Well, what else do you like to get up to?
He says, well, now I just go and I'm just part of, like I just go where I follow Michael's command. So where I go, he tells me to. Otherwise, I generally stay in the mountains. He was like, there are some. Fuck, I don't have my dragons in front of me. Let's see here. Mm, fire damage. So he says there are some bronze dragons who chill out in the water. But otherwise, golden, us golden silver dragons, we generally stay in the mountains.
All right.
But all of us follow Michael's word now. When we were on the material plane, we did different, like we each lived our own lives, but now we just serve the host.
The host.
Yes, Michael.
Is there a particular reason he's called the host?
He's just like the leader of the heavenly host. So if you refer to just the host, then we usually just refer to him as that.
I see.
His names have power, the dragon says. So him as the host signifies him as, different, as the lord of the land. So call him the host.
I see. Is there anything else you can tell us about this plane? We're very curious. Anything cool to see? Anywhere we should avoid?
He says, well, right now, he's like, you guys are on the coast. He says, so out to the water is the water of eternal out to the water is the sea of eternal life. He says, beyond that there's nothing. There's the heavenly host has a training and military installation about a day and a half travel to the east of you. And he said if you go through the mountain pass, you can go to where all the lost souls that were good have been sent. He said, and also Michael's castle is there.
Could I bring your attention back to the first thing you mentioned, the Sea of Eternal Life?
Mm-hmm.
Is that just a name, or is there any truth to that?
He says, well, once you start getting, he says it's it is a name, but also once you drink from the waters, he says it becomes almost like an addiction, and at a certain point you just want to be, for a lack of a better term, one with the water.
Oh, so the bronze dragons are addicts.
Less addicts and more
Junkies?
habitual users, or how would I say this better?
Yeah, they're addicts.
They need the water to survive at this point. He says they can't be away from it for long periods of time. Maybe a day at most. He says, but beyond that, they have to be near the water, drinking the water, stuff like that. He says because otherwise, they start to go a little mad, and then we have to permanently get rid of them.
So not drinking any more of that.
Yeah. So what? What happens if you drink some of that? Just a little bit.
He says at first it's fine, like it has a restorative ability, but eventually your body needs that restorative ability to sustain itself. Like there's a point in which your body can no longer, especially humanoid bodies, cannot once you hit a certain point you can't survive without it.
Right. But if we only had a little, we'll be fine, right? It's not like
He said that's fine a little bit. He
yeah,
was
not
like
touching that
it's
ever again.
effective. He was like it's effective in certain cases, but especially the people who come to us from purgatory that are badly mangled from their previous life or something like that. He says the water fixes them right up. But if they continue to use the water and continue to drink the water afterwards, then we have at a certain point just send them out to sea. He says, so I don't know how many people are out to sea. He was like, I couldn't tell you.
Interesting.
One sip was enough for a lifetime. I'm good.
Halbjorn's like, how can I weaponize this?
No, that is that's fucking rank. that's there's Geneva Convention for shit like that.
Don't tell Ronald Reagan that in 1980.
What's a little liquid fentanyl? No big deal.
In this case, it was basically using the CIA to dump crack cocaine in poor black communities in the 80s. But same thing.
Yeah.
Little crack helps the day go by.
Not so much, no.
So, I do have an idea for that though.
Oh no.
We're not dumping crack in poor neighborhoods. I'm sorry.
No. The water. We could collect it and use it as a one-time restorative measure. Like if somebody gets chewed up or something, we let them take a dip in the pool and they're right as rain, but that's the last time they'll ever fucking do it. Or we could actually weaponize it by collecting it
And pumping
and
it into the
distributing
water
it.
supply.
Yeah, distributing it to our enemies. They'll eventually go mad without it and have to be put down. And the ultra rich will, and ultra powerful will be in fear of this disease or this curse that's popping up amongst their numbers. And when someone's afraid of something, they'll do things that they normally wouldn't.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Oh, undoubtedly. There's so many ways that could backfire. But if we were evil, man, the things we could do with this.
Oh
It's
man.
we're not evil.
I was just thinking about selling it as like, you'll see those like fantasy tropes where there's like the old timey person in like the hooded or the not covered wagon, like the wooden wagon with the sign on the side, and they're selling some cure all.
It's snake oil
Yeah.
salesman.
Yeah, except this would actually be a cure all, and the trick is it's addictive, so now people have to have it.
Again, that sounds pretty
Oh, that's
evil.
evil. It is entirely evil.
I do think, however, keeping a pool, like a bathtub full of it, would be a good idea.
I don't.
I don't either.
Again, as an emergency save a life thing.
I don't think we need that much. I think we would, from the sounds of it, just a drink is enough to fix someone. So why would we
Yeah.
need a bathtub full? And we
No,
can come back here,
Teleporting,
and we can
of
come back here and
course.
get more anytime we need. We have an instant portal here. There's no, as long as we carry a
That's-
small amount, we don't need to carry a bathtub full.
That's true. However, I'd like to point out that they did say that the individual had to be immersed if they were badly injured, like mangled up and shit.
But even then, we give them enough to stabilize them and then bring them here.
And then commit them to the sea forever afterwards.
No, just dunk them and then take them back. I mean, if we take them back in the material plane, it's not like they can get back here and get more. They're forced to go cold turkey. They have no other option.
Oh, the other option is to die.
That's
I-
true.
Revealed more of the map, given your conversation with the dragon, so you get a little better view of what things look like. That town on the edge is where the departed, the good departed, live.
Hmm.
This town on the edge?
Yes.
Okay. Has anybody said anything about this yet?
That's the military installation that the dragon spoke of.
Oh, okay.
I wonder how training with Celestials would go.
Training montage?
Yeah, will they
Training
just like
montage.
beat the shit out of us and leave us crispy with radiant energy?
So I'm just playing Eye of the Tiger in my head and running upstairs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a training montage.
Yeah, that's kind of training montage.
Fine. It doesn't actually happen.
I know.
It'd be really nice if I could montage through work.
No shit.
It's
It's the most tedious, horrible thing you have to do. Training montage it.
I feel like they made a movie about that.
Oh, okay. So we know what's going on here. Do we ask if they're okay with us taking stuff out of the abandoned tower, or do we just do it?
Oh, we didn't mention it. They didn't ask about it, so we're not going to tell them.
We just sense people happening, so.
Yeah. Well, as far as Halbjorn's concerned, our group is now the owner of this tower network. Therefore, whatever is inside of them belongs to us.
It's fair.
I had a fancier way of saying that, but I blanked. Or when I needed to.
Finders, keepers, losers, weepers.
Not quite, but it works, you know.
Possession is 9/10 of the law.
If you don't get caught, it's not a crime.
Yeah. We're just explorers.
Exploring our space, right?
Yeah.
We bought this
Like
fair and
we're-
square from the locals.
Not like we're here to colonize you or anything.
This isn't America. So, guys are packing up stuff. You've made a friendly conversation with an ancient silver dragon. Anything else?
Oh. One more thing. Halbjorn is going to ask if he can know its name.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
Halbjorn is going to ask the dragon if he may know its name.
Give me 1 second. If I can type.
Oh, that's my macaroni timer.
So I would say so he responds that his name is Plata. I know that sounds weird and just I came up with nowhere, but that translates correctly to what I wanted.
Does he say it in Draconic or?
He does. He does not communicate in any way that's not Draconic.
So the word itself is Draconic then.
Yes.
Okay.
What was he again?
An ancient silver dragon.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Halbjorn is going to say his name out loud. He's going to say, "Thank you, Plata."
And he says, "You're welcome. I will." And he says, "I will report back to Michael that you're friendly and you mean us no harm." And he flies away.
All right. And as Halbjorn and I forgot the gold dragon's name already because I'm a piece of shit.
No, that's fine.
Plata?
Nope. The gold dragon's name is Aurelian.
Oh.
Yeah, as Halbjorn and Aurelian are flying back down to the tower, Halbjorn's going to open up his handy dandy notebook and relay the name of that silver dragon to Fiona.
What do you say to her? "Hey, we met this silver dragon named Plata. Do you know anything about him?"
Well, the dragon did mention that names have power. Might be helpful.
She and she responds back and says, like, "I remember this guy. He was one of Michael's lieutenants some years ago."
Still seems to be.
Well, seemed like a nice enough fella, but like I said, that's his name. Don't know if you can do anything with that or.
She was
But
like,
it's
"I'll keep a note of it." She does write back, I'll keep a note of it, but to put it on your notice, as I said, he at one point was one of Michael's like top lieutenants. So keep that in mind in your future conversations with him.
Of course, don't poke the bear.
So, besides packing up, is there anything else? Feels like a good stopping point. That's why I ask.
It does feel like a good stopping point.
Does
I
feel like a
agree.
good
Mhm.
stopping point.
Okay. And just to be clear, once you've we
But-
can. Sorry. I was gonna say once everything's packed up, I assume you go back home, right?
Sounds about right.
So I think it's fair then that we can start back at home with the supplies. By supplies, I mean books.
By books, you mean things we stole?
Finders keepers.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
It's only stealing if someone tries to stop you.
It's just looting before that. Okay, we looted the books.
Just as God intended.
It's hard up
Um,
there, but someone's got to do it.
anything else? Does anyone have anything else?
No?
I'm good.
Oh, good.
Okay. I will see you all next time. If you have any questions or comments or thoughts, let me know. I'll keep you guys updated. Hopefully, I've managed to iron out the problems at work, but I won't 100% say that there won't come another time that I have to cancel fairly last minute. So I apologize in advance for that.
That's okay.
As
I
always.
wake up about 10 minutes before session starts, so that's when I'll find out. And how dare you have a life and responsibilities and a job?
I don't know if a life is the correct term I would use here, but I do work for less than minimum wage most weeks. So
Ah, God, that really hurts me for you.
if you guys need anything at all, just let me know, okay?
Of course.
All right.
I'll see
Take
you
care
guys
of yourself.
soon.
See you next week.
Yep.
Hopefully.
See you next week.
Stay safe, guys.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.
Oh, hey, have a Merry Christmas.
You
Oh,
too.
yeah.
And a Happy
Merry
New Year if I
Christmas.
don't see you
And a-
before then.
Yeah.
That too.
Okay.
Later, folks.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.